Now, you've had your hair dyed blue for a lot longer than I have, clearly.
Yes.
You had this blue hair for your last semester of college.
Yes.
So, did people perceive you any differently than when you had your natural brown hair, or what do you think?
I think it honestly just depended on the person. Like, if I had, like, previously known them, like, pretty well, nothing was really different. But if I hadn't known them that well, and we did become a little closer of friends over the semester, I think it had a little bit of influence because when it comes to like having short hair or dyed hair and people already having questions about me in general, I feel like I already like solidified the answers in their head.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would have friends like come up to me and talk to me about like their sexuality, their pronouns, and like I guess you could say felt flattered in the way that they trusted me enough
Mm-hmm.
like that, and like felt comfortable enough to talk to me about this stuff. But I think because of my appearance,
Yeah, like it was just based off the fact that you had blue hair that they were telling you certain things.
that's what I think.
I mean, it's just interesting how that works. I mean, appearances can say a lot to people. Okay, the last thing that I kind of wanted to bring up in this conversation, it's not like directly related necessarily, but it's kind of spurred from this video that came up in Shawna's Instagram feed a few days ago when we were hanging out, and it's this video of this guy pretty much going on about how if you've been friends longer than 7 years, you're not friends, you're a couple. And if you're same-sex friends, you're a gay couple. And we were both just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
It's interesting because there are like, that's not like the first video like that. Like we've seen a lot of videos out there of people having like similar perceptions of like long-term friendships. Like you saw another one.
I saw one right before this podcast on my feed. It was a video of these two girls cuddling best friends, as they titled the video, and then like it shows them both scrolling through their phones or whatever, and a video pops up talking about how like best friends doing gay things, and then like the audio is like a popular audio that's going around, something like, is this story about us type of thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's just like,
yeah. I'm just kind of like, I don't understand why people feel the need to take so many like platonic things and make them sexual. Like, I'm sorry, like if me and Shawna are chilling in the same bed and we're cuddling, okay, that's like having my sister come, cuddle in my bed. Like that's not weird, it's not inherently sexual, like there's no reason for that, but there's just a lot of assumptions that get made when you have a close friend nowadays, which I highly doubt this used to be the case. But now it's like it is a question. If you're if you're walking around with your best friend in public and you both have blue hair, there might be some assumptions about
we just got so many assumptions. I think that's why that one guy was angry at us and was so aggressive with me.
Honestly, probably we had a situation at a Chick-fil-A. This guy was pretty aggressive in our direction, mainly Shauna's direction, but he was pretty aggressive. Now, there's no evidence that it's because of the blue hair. He could have just been having a crappy day.
Yeah.
But, since we're reading into things,
we're not giving the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah, we're talking about assumptions and stereotypes and not giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's what we're talking about today. So it just goes hand in hand. All right? But the whole idea of like the whole like, if you've been friends for this amount of time, or if you do this with your friend, or if you do that with your friend, like it's like, you're gay. It's just crazy to me. But we've had our fair share of like those types of comments over the years in real life.
Yeah. Over and over.
Like even as kids, like we were literally like,
we were still minors.
I was like 15, she's 17, and like we went to I was visiting in Florida and we went to her church group. It was like it's a college group, but it's just an adult youth group. Yeah, it's just adult youth group. It really
It
is.
wasn't really that special.
Yeah, but afterwards we went out to eat with like the group of people that she normally hangs out with there, or hung out with there, I guess. It's been a hot minute. But like, and we were all like hanging out in the parking lot, and like all of a sudden we've got like the guys there joking about how we look like a lesbian couple.
Yeah.
And it was like, I always hated that. Like, I got several assumptions, like not even having to do with Shawna. Like, I had a few experiences where like I think somebody I didn't even know like asked somebody that I did know, like, is she a lesbian? Because she looks like a lesbian. And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I'm like, at the time I was like 15 years old, like wearing a sweater everywhere I went, but I don't know what that has to do with looking like a lesbian.
Yeah.
I was a child. But, yeah, so there's a lot of issues with people assuming that type of stuff, especially like, you know, as we were saying, like the church group. It's like, you know, you would think in that type of setting that, you know, there would be a sort of better understanding of like the spiritual aspects of things, and like how you don't want to put certain things on certain people, and like, and you don't know what people struggle with. You don't know if that's something that somebody is struggling with, and if you making a joke like that is gonna like push them to find a community that accepts them or understands them when you didn't, and then they go that route instead of following the faith route like they would have. Like, you know, there's a lot of caveats there that I feel like people don't really think about when making those assumptions or those jokes, especially as Christians. Like,
I'm just so sick and tired of like, one, people always making assumptions about us even when we were kids, and two, like still hearing other Christian people make assumptions about kids that were our age, like being gay. It's like, oh, they're so gay, or like they're bi,
or, you know, just wait till they're an adult, they're gonna come out.
Yeah, that's a lot of attitude I keep hearing, and it bothers me.
And you should, like, there's a reason. It's just kind of like, it's like, you know, one, you have no idea, you're not that kid, you don't
make
know
those assumptions, especially towards a child.
Yeah,
don't put sexual things on a child.
Exactly. Like, and you know, and there are a lot of guys that have more feminine traits, and there's a lot of girls who have more masculine traits. It has nothing to do with their perceived sexual identity or what they're attracted to or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things, like, when you're putting that assumption, especially on a child, but even on an adult, it's like, when you speak words, okay, they mean something. And even if you're doing it in private, I'm like, you know, you don't always know. There's a spiritual realm out there. You don't always know who's listening to you. You don't know if that's like, you know, gonna end up being a sore spot for this person, or if that's gonna be a weakness that they have. And so, like, why would you even make those assumptions? You know, it just, especially about a child, it just makes no sense. But whatever. There's that. But honestly, like, even then, like, those some of those situations that happen in real life, like, were after you cut your hair short. It wasn't that particular one was not. Was it during the? I mean, I don't think that was during the time she had the like crappy haircut she didn't want.
No, I don't think it was the crappy.
It was
one.
Before that, so it was like after she cut her hair in that like feminine swoopy way. Okay, and honestly, it like the assumptions that we got like during that time probably could just be traced back to the short hair.
Yeah, honestly,
and like the fact that people were assuming like she's the man in the relationship.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, sure.
It's like, all right.
Guess we're just gonna go with whatever you think, huh? Because you know it all.
Thanks for everything.
I feel like a lot of people make jokes and like think it's funny. I mean, I know a lot of guy friend groups that literally, I mean, they act gay for each other as like this ongoing joke.
Yeah, like they just act like they are like in love with each other in a sexual manner.
Yeah, and no, it's not just the one guy friend group I've hung around. Okay, it's probably every single guy friend group I have ever been like around.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, and even the ones where it's like, you know, I only spend like, you know, a week here or a week there, like, you know, just in their general vicinity. Okay, like there's always this like ongoing thing of like acting gay for each other, and I don't understand it personally. So if any of you guys out there are part of a friend group like that and would like to give us like a real explanation as to why, I mean, the only explanation I've gotten from guys is that it's funny.
Like I need a further detailed explanation, like MLA format,
whole dissertation.
Yeah, honestly. I want citations, bibliography.
Yeah, we need the whole psychology behind why you guys think it's so funny to, like, act gay for each other and act like you are in love with each other. Like, it's very strange.
When you are the straightest people on earth.
Exactly. Like, it's never guys that are gay.
No.
And I say this to a lot of, like, grown adults or whatever, like,
Mhm.
when I bring it up to grown adults, they're, like, actually concerned, like, they're like, are they gay, though? And I'm like, no, trust me, they're not. They're just acting like it with their friends.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then, like, comparing it to, like, girl friendships.
Girl friendships are very different.
Yeah, obviously girls and guys, completely different. They're different. Yes, there are things that cross over. Yes, there are things we have in common. But girls are different than guys.
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense why girl friendships are different than guy friendships.
Because females are more emotional beings. Not saying guys can't be emotional. Guys can be emotional. But, like, in the majority, women are more emotional.
Yeah, and, like, and here's the thing, too, about guy friendships, is, like, the ones that are actually friends, you can tell, because, like, you'll watch their friend group dynamic, and, like, sometimes there's, like, one or two that are more sensitive than the other ones, and usually the guys don't go after them. It's really interesting, like, when the guy friends actually care about each other, like, like, they really do the hardcore roasting to the ones who can handle it and don't hit the sensitive ones.
It's quite a show to watch.
Yes, it's hilarious, don't get me wrong. I just don't understand why they do it. But, yeah, but, like, in girl friendships, it's, like, half the stuff that guys say to each other, half the stuff that guys do with each other, like, that they think is hilarious. If a girl that said she was my friend did that to me, or said that to me, or whatever, I'd be like, are we friends?
Like, even things said, like, guys who say things in, like, joking aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, just very concerning. Because, like, they'll go after each other. They'll, like, say, like, the most awful things to one another.
But it's like, it's just kind of expected that it'll roll off the other person's back.
Yeah.
With girl friendships, and I know there are girls who like, completely adopt that sense of humor and bring it into their friendships, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But, like, it's just really not a good way to communicate with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Which many guys learn when they get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which some of them already know, but many learn the hard way. Well, and also, like, it's just kind of like, some guys, like, even think it's, like, funny to, like, punch each other in the gonads. Apologies for that, a scandalous comment, but, like, a lot of, so there's some guy friend groups where, like, that's just perfectly normal. They'll just, like, if they can do it in a way that's funny to everybody else in the friend group, it's like the one person just suffers. Oh, for the love of God, it burns. And, like, everybody's amused.
It's like a betterment for the group type of deal.
Yeah, but, like, if that was, like, something that could happen with girls, like, that would just no. That's just a no-go. You don't do that. Really. Okay, if you do that, you're not my friend. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
We don't make fun of each other.
No, clearly. Like, we laugh at each other all the time. Like, she tripped over the, like, birthday gift bag I got her. She tripped over it and, like, hit herself on something, and I just started laughing. Like, there's things like that are just funny. But, just, in general, like, guys they take things a whole nother level that, like, girl friendships just, it's not for us. There are some girls who are totally on board with that, but most girls, I feel like, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And so when I see these, like, so when I see these girls who are, like, doing the same thing with their friends and acting gay for each other, it really weirds me out.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, it feels like they're doing it for other people's entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more questionable. I don't know why.
I don't know. It feels like it's done for entertainment and, like, obviously, like, attention.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just more off-putting.
Yeah, because I guess, like, again,
I guess we're more serious.
Yeah, like, maybe that's it. Like, you just kind of expect, like, in a girl friendship for things to be more on a serious level, like a conversational level, whereas guys, like, yeah, they have conversations, yeah, they can be perfectly serious, but, like, a lot of their inter-friendship relationships are more, like, joking and roasting and getting on each other, and, like, but, like, girls, like, that's not the majority of our friendship, I think, and so, like, I don't know, it's very strange to see girls who are friends acting gay. It's just weird. It doesn't make sense.
The same, like, intensity and everything else like a guy would.
Yeah. And also, it, like, you know, it kind of, I guess it's part of the thing is, like, you know, how stereotypically, like, guys think it's attractive. Not all guys, not, like, I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that I know guys who think it's attractive, but I do know guys who think it's attractive. You know, I know this is a Christian show, but we are talking about sexuality, so let's just get out there.
Are you about to engage in blasphemy?
There are guys who think that girls doing things with girls is hot.
Yeah.
Whereas I highly doubt there's many girls who think that guys doing things with guys is attractive. So there is, like, that kind of, like, dynamic where that is the case. So it's kind of like when girls are doing that in a friendship, it's like, what are you doing? I don't know what you're getting out of it, but I know what there's other people getting out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else to say on that subject, really?
No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a rabbit trail, but, you know, it does kind of play into the way people present themselves. So, you know what? There you go. Like I said, wasn't directly related to what we were talking about, but it was kind of in the same vein, talking gender sexuality. Okay. But yeah, I think that's about it for, like, the main meat of today's episode of Subtle Rampage. We just wanted to get in here and discuss some of this appearances and assumptions stuff, because a lot of the problems that we have in our culture, when it comes to the division and the drama and all of that stuff, a lot of it, I think, stems from people viewing other people through a very generalizing lens, and viewing people through stereotypes, and viewing people through group lens. Okay. Like, you know, it's not good to look at you know, race and group people based off race. We all know that, we all agree on that, right? But it's also, like, kind of just as ridiculous to group people together based off of their hair color or their clothing choices. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Like,
yeah,
you just don't know. Like, one of the things that we've also talked about recently is, like, just, like, coming into our own as women, coming into like, our own versions of femininity. That's something of concern, is, like, especially when we're talking kids, you know, like, when you were younger, it's not like you had this, like, super girly style going on.
No, I was very much a tomboy. A lot of masculine qualities.
Yeah. And I wasn't super tomboyish. I, like, you know, I was doing my makeup, you know, I was doing my hair, but, like, even not her. I remember when we first met, I'd be over at her house. It took a while. Yeah, I'd be over at her house when we first met, and I'd be, like, chasing her through her room, like, let me do your makeup, let me do it, let me do it. And she'd be like, no, not letting you touch my face
or my hair.
or her hair. I think the first time she let me do her hair was for her high school graduation. She let me put it up in a little half ponytail.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have grown so much since we first met, that's for sure.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. We've definitely become a slightly different people. We still have the same basis.
Yeah, the same foundation.
Yeah, but you know, we're definitely very different than we were when we met at 13 and
15.
Or wait, yeah, 13, 15. Yeah.
I hadn't turned 16
Yeah.
yet.
So it's pretty interesting. It's fairly interesting. But like even yeah, like I was saying, I did my makeup, I did my hair in high school, but it wasn't until I was like, you know, maybe right before I turned 17, maybe right after I turned 17 that I actually started like, you know, trying to, you know, be more stylish and stuff. But that was just because I had my first job and I actually had the money to go get clothes. Before that, it was a lot of hand-me-downs. And a lot of the hand-me-downs I got were from guy family members because, you know, that's what I had. I didn't have an older sister. So I wore a lot of t-shirts and skinny jeans and, you know, my Converse because I always have my Converse. But and then I would wear this gray sweater and definitely got made fun of a lot when I did go to a tutorial.
That's another thing we bonded over. We both wore sweaters all the time.
We did. Granted, it was, looking back on it, we can both admit that it was because of insecurity.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, but, you know, and we'll just put this into context here. Okay, we were both teenagers in Florida heat. Wearing jeans and sweaters every day.
And not light sweaters.
No.
Heavy winter fall
Yeah.
sweaters.
Yeah. It was like every day somebody would be like, "Aren't you hot?"
Yes.
I'd be like, "No," sweating everywhere.
Literally buckets pouring.
But yeah, so we, you know, we can look back on like our younger selves and definitely see like where like people were making certain assumptions, but at the same time, we can also look back on our younger selves and be like, we were children.
Yeah.
And like personally, I don't walk around like putting a lot of assumptions on people who are still in high school and younger because I know what that was like as a kid, and I just think it's too early to be putting so much on them. You know, to be putting like those expectations based off appearance on them. Like they're still figuring out who the heck they are. They still might not even have money to buy the clothes that they like to wear.
Or the knowledge, honestly.
Or the knowledge.
Like that was one of my issues. The other issue was just like personal pride, I guess, because I was always more of a masculine-ish female.
You just have more interest in, like, and that's the thing is, like, you know, people will be like, oh, well, you were just masculine presenting, and like that's stupid. Okay, it's called, you know, you have like you have a preference for like certain colors, you have a preference for certain styles, you have a preference for certain vibes, like, you know, and some of those things we have attributed to be specifically masculine or specifically feminine, but you know, some of it crosses over, and when it crosses over, that doesn't mean that somebody's like
doesn't mean they're gay.
No. Doesn't mean they're gay, doesn't mean they're liberal, doesn't mean anything like that. It just means usually that they're a kid.
Yeah, they're just trying to figure themselves out.
Exactly. But yeah, like I was saying about the generalizing stuff, I mean, one of my biggest things lately, Shawna knows this, my parents know this, you might know this if you've been keeping up with my podcast, like you should be, I'm watching you, okay, I'm actually part of the FBI, I'm looking at you through your phone lens right now, you're not even watching this podcast, I bet, you're just like scrolling Instagram, it's kind of rude, but one of my biggest things lately has been and continues to be that we have to look at people as individuals. And like I know a lot of people on the left, they get upset like that, you know, conservatives are too focused on the individuals, the Republicans are too focused on the individuals, and I'm not focused on the individuals in the sense of you know, you and only you can do everything for yourself, you know, like that's you know,
like
the other people
yourself up by your bootstraps type
the pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody's in a situation where they can do that. But I you know, and other people exist for a reason. It's because, you know, God made Adam and he was like, yeah, you're not going to make it on your own. I'm going to give you Eve. Like, you know, like other people exist with us for a reason. We don't exist alone for a reason. But in that same sort of vein, it's like, there's no reason why we can't view each individual person as who they are and like really dig in deep to their life experiences and why they think the way they do, why they act the way they do. Instead of just seeing blue hair and going, ew, it's a liberal. Ugh. She
has progressive beliefs. Run away.
Progressive cooties. But I mean, everyone has a way, has like a reason for thinking the way they do, has a reason for acting the way they do, dressing the way they do, and in a lot of cases, I think that those reasons are a lot less ominous than some of us like naturally believe. Just because someone is walking around with face piercings and green hair with the side shaved, like we talked about, it's kind of ridiculous, okay, to just immediately assume that they act the exact same as the, they, them with facial piercings and green shaved hair that you saw on your, social media feed the other day screaming at you. Like, it's unfair to people as individuals to put these assumptions on them right away. Doesn't mean there's not something to your assumptions, it just means that there are people that fall outside of that. So why do it? You never know what you're missing. You don't know what conversations you could have. You don't know how close they are to your beliefs.
Yeah, and that's why you don't make assumptions.
Yeah. Because you know what they say about assumptions. I'm not going to say it. You know what they say about assumptions.
You know what it means.
Especially if you grew up in the South. You know what they say. But, I mean, that person that looks like a liberal, they could be exactly that, okay? Or they could be a moderate, or they could be a conservative. I'm just saying, like, if I walked into a Church of Christ looking like this, I'm pretty sure I'd get some assumptions. But am I liberal? No. I'm a Christian conservative, so,
Yeah.
And the same goes for the dude with the mullet. Okay?
Yeah.
Just because you've got a patriotic looking guy going into your college classroom, okay, in rural America, looking like he's all conservative, it does not mean he's conservative. It does not mean he wants to get a wife, settle down, have family values, okay? It really doesn't. Trust me. I've met several liberals with mullets and American flag t-shirts. Just saying.
They exist.
Okay? Because not all liberals are unpatriotic. There you go.
Yeah.
They just have a lot of other views that are questionable.
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess that's about it. I'm sure I missed a few points in there. Not used to doing a podcast with another person.
We got 6 people having 4 conversations in one sentence.
But I think it's been fun, Hopefully you guys are entertained.
I know I am.
Yeah, by this new face here. If you enjoyed this special blue-haired conservatives episode of Subtle Rampage and you want to see more of me and my beautiful counterpart, don't worry.
Not gay.
Oh, not partner.
No homo.
No, I said counterpart, not partner. We're not vibing with that. Okay. But if you want to see more of me and Shawna, okay, don't worry. We've got more coming for you, okay? So just make sure that you're following the podcast so you don't miss out on any future content, including possibly a couple more episodes of the Blue-Haired Conservatives. So, Shawna, where can these free thinkers go to send you an email and maybe see a little bit of your portfolio?
Yes. You can go to shawnahusky.com. It'll be typed out somewhere. On the first page at the bottom, there's a place where you can email me if you want to work with me for like a logo, branding, design deal. We'll work something out, just shoot me an email.
Give her all the jobs.
Yes.
She's a recovering graphic design student who just got her degree. She's very good at what she does, but she needs money.
Desperately. Thank you.
But all right, you heard it here first, folks. See you next week. Bye.